everyone, this is Bella Hunter, and I thought I would finally do my video on early Oscar predictions. And what has finally convinced me to do it is waking up this morning to see that Lily Gladstone is competing in leading actress rather than supporting, because everyone has just considered her a lock-in for winning supporting, and then actually it turns out she's in leading. So that kind of messes up all of my previous predictions, so I thought I would sit down and go through everything and think about what's going to change and what I think will actually happen now. So I think I'm going to start with supporting actor, because honestly it's one that I'm pretty certain on right now. So I've got a top 10 at the moment, and that top 10 for me is pretty solid, and I can't really see it changing. I can't see any surprise contenders coming out of that. I can just see it being that 10, and I'm confident on the top 7. I would say could, like, any of those could be a 5, but I'm solid on my top 3 at least. So I've got Ryan Gosling in number 1. I just can't see anyone else beating the whole narrative behind that. I just think that it'll be his 3rd nomination. Everyone loved the performance, and I can't see anyone else getting more hype than that, if you know what I mean. I've got Robert Downey Jr. in 2nd, because I think it's a great performance. I don't think it's as good as Ryan Gosling. I think he's sure to get a nomination. I think he'll do well. I think a lot of people want him to win, but I don't think the same energy is there as there is for Ryan Gosling. I mean, Downey Jr. is older, so you could say like he's been deserving it longer, but I don't know. I just see that performance as a very solid nomination, but I don't think it's going to be a win. And then at the minute I've got Robert De Niro in 3rd. Honestly, he could go above Robert Downey Jr. I've not seen the performance yet, obviously, but it's pretty obvious he's going to deliver a solid performance. He's going to get nominated for it. Yeah, I don't think he's going to win. Unless I see it and I ain't completely blown away by it, things could change. I'm not going to write him off of it, but I've got him in 3 at the minute. And then I have got John McGarr for Past Lives. A lot of people were strong on him when it first released in America, and now that it's released in the UK, I feel like people are like, oh, maybe not, maybe it won't happen. But I don't know. I see Past Lives being one of the big nominations, like having a large amount of nominations, and I think that he will get in. I don't think he'll be anywhere near winning, but I think that he will get in. I think it will be similar to like Brian Tyree Henry last year, although that was obviously the only nomination for the film. But in terms of performance style, I think it's a similar nomination to that. And A24, obviously. So yeah, I think he's getting nominated. Right now I've got Paul Mescal in 5th for All of Us Strangers. I've not seen that yet, obviously. I'm seeing it early next month for the London Film Festival, which I will do a review on. I don't know, he was nominated last year, so maybe it's too soon to be nominated again, but I just think that his choices of films he is in are really, really smart. And if he keeps playing it right, he will just keep getting nominated until he does eventually win. I don't think it's a win. I don't think it's anywhere near being a win, same as last year, but I think if the film has the reception in larger release that it has had for the film festivals, then I think he's getting nominated. I think the film will get more than 1 nomination. And obviously the fact that Andrew Haigh had an Oscar-nominated performance in his films before, that makes me more confident as well. It's not like this would be completely new for one of his films. Okay, and then after that I've currently got Mark Ruffalo. To be honest, I can very much see him getting nominated after all of the hype around Poor Things. Poor Things is a Best Picture frontrunner. I've currently got it in 1st. So yeah, I think that would happen. Maybe that will come above Paul Mescal. Maybe it will come above John McGarr. Maybe it'll come above any of the others. But I'm not sold on it being a nomination until I've seen the film, which won't be until January. So yeah, I've just got him in sixth for now, and I'm not. Everyone's got him quite high up, but I don't know. They've seen the film, I haven't, but that's just my opinions for now. And then seventh, I've got Charles Melton for May December. People have had him higher up before, and everyone seems to have quietened down about him now. Now that, I don't know, has it not shown at a festival in a while? I'm not sure. I will be seeing this in the London Film Festival next month, which I'm really excited for. I just don't think that Natalie Portman will get in for lead actress, and I think that without that momentum, the film won't get lots of nominations, and Charles Melton might struggle to get in to supporting actor, because it's not going to be like a film with 7 nominations. I don't think. It could be, but from how I view the film now, I don't think it's that film. And then I've got Willem Dafoe again. Poor Things. Again, people have got him higher. Haven't seen the film, no idea. He could get nominated. He could, but as I said, any of these could be anywhere. Like these could all get, well, no they wouldn't, but any of these could be the final 5. And then I've got Jacob Elordi for Saltburn. There was a time where I would have had him higher, but Saltburn, the reviews are pretty much saying that people are either going to love it or hate it. I think I'm going to love it. I'm seeing it for the film festival next month. But I just think that I don't think he's going to get a nomination this early on in his career. I think he's making the right steps that will eventually lead him towards getting the nomination in a few years. I think he's got that narrative going, but I don't think it is now. I don't think it's for Saltburn. I think Barry Keoghan could get a nomination for Saltburn. I think Saltburn could get quite a few nominations. But at the moment, I've got Jacob Elordi down there because I don't think it's quite time for him yet. It will be. I am one of the people who has defended his choices and his films for a long time, because I've been able to see from the very minute he did the switch from Kissing Booth or whatever, the path that he's building, and I think he will get that nomination one day. I don't know what it will be for, but yeah, not now, but he's in the top 10. And in 10th, I've got Milo Machado-Graner for Anatomy of a Fall. People have been saying he's really good in it. We haven't really had a child nomination in a long time, and I always love them. I always think they're really well deserved. Isn't out in the UK yet. I've not seen it. I don't really know if there's any real potential there, but it's a supporting performance in a film that is going to do well at the Oscars, I think, in terms of nominations. I think it's gonna do really well. So it could, I'm not writing it off, it could happen, but I don't think he's going to be in that final 5, but I think he is one of the contenders for it. On to supporting actress. Up until literally last night, I had Lily Gladstone winning Best Supporting Actress. This morning I woke up to Lily Gladstone is competing for lead actress, and everything's changed. So right now I have Davine Joy Randolph in number 1 for supporting actress. That's for The Holdovers. I've not seen it yet. I'll be seeing it at London Film Festival. I don't know, I've just heard that she completely makes the film. She's the heart of the film, and it's a fantastic supporting performance, and that the nomination's locked in. And with Lily Gladstone not in that category anymore, the only competition I can really see is Emily Blunt. And I think Emily Blunt is great in Oppenheimer. She's my number 2. I'll get on to her in a second. But I don't think there's enough there to be the winner. My win prediction, Davine Joy Randolph. So number 2, as I just said, Emily Blunt. I think she has those really great moments in Oppenheimer. I think she's locked in for a nomination. I really think so. I think she's one of I'm only certain on 2 people for a complete lock, and that is Emily Blunt and Davine Joy Randolph. Everyone else could be any of the top 10. Yeah, I don't think she'll win. As I said, don't think there's enough there, but I think she's definitely getting nominated, and I think it's been a long time coming for her nomination. I think it's later into her career. I think she's getting the nomination for sure. Then in number 3, I have got Rachel McAdams. This is part prediction, part hope, because she is my favourite supporting performance of the year so far in Oh There God It's Me Margaret. That's my supporting performance of the year, to be honest. And I don't know that she'll get a nomination for sure, but I think with Lily Gladstone gone, she has a very strong chance of getting in, very strong. I think it's her best performance by a mile. I think she was nominated for Spotlight, and I don't think her performance was anywhere near on the level that it is here. And I think that supporting actress could really be the category, the competitive category, but I think that she could do it. And I think it will be the only nomination for the film, unless it somehow gets into adapted screenplay. Yeah, but I think it can happen. Then I've got Danielle Brooks in number 4, which is for The Colour Purple, and I'm not so certain on it, to be quite honest. I don't think The Colour Purple is going to be the film that people were expecting. From the trailer, it doesn't look like it's going to be the big Best Picture contender that a lot of people thought it would be. So I think that it will probably at least get one acting nomination. And I can see that being here for Danielle Brooks. But then again, I have no idea. She might not get it. Any one of the people below here could get in. And then at number 5, I've got Julianne Moore for May December. I think if the film were to get any acting nomination, like if it were to just get one acting nomination, I think this will be the nomination. I don't know. She's an Oscar winner. She's meant to be good in it. I'll get back to you on whether I think she's great in it. I think that she's just slightly more likely than the rest of the people I've got. But again, I don't know. And then at number 6, I've got America Ferrera. She could very well get a nomination here. Very easily. On my first watch of Barbie, I didn't really see it. But I've seen it 6 times now, and it's, yeah, I would be happy if she got nominated. I think it would be a great nomination. I think it's a subtle, underrated performance, but she really is like the heart of the film outside of Barbie. And I think it would be a great nomination, but it's not a lock for me, not a lock at all. I think it's more likely with Lily Gladstone not in the category, but not a lock. Then I put Rosamund Pike for Saltburn, which I think I can see rising higher than this. I can see this happening for sure. It just depends what the reception to the film is, in my opinion. I think I'm going to love it. I think some people will hate it. And that might hurt its Oscar chances. But then again, that would hurt its Oscar chances. Best Picture-wise, performance, it might be absolutely fine performance. Multiple people could get in. So yeah, I'm not writing her off in the slightest. And then at 8, I've got Jodie Foster for Nyad. I want her to get a nomination again because it's been a while. But I don't think this is it. I don't think this is it. There's controversy around the story. A lot of people have said it's just not that good. I can see her getting in more than Annette Bening, much more. Yeah. I don't see it happening, but she will be a contender. Number 9, I've got Rita Perlman, which is unlikely, but again, she will be a contender. I don't see it happening, but she will be up there. People have been comparing it to Jamie Lee Curtis last year, and I don't think it's quite the same. I don't think we can compare the two films in that way. I don't think the roles are similar in the slightest. I think that I would be fine with a Rita Perlman nomination. I'll be happy for her, but I don't see it happening personally. And then I have Jodie Comer at number 10 for The Bike Riders, because I've heard that she's fantastic in that film. She's fantastic in everything, but yeah, I don't really see The Bike Riders getting nominations. But if it did, I think it would be Jodie Comer. Okay, so I'm going for the leading role categories now. I'm going to start with actor. I've got Cillian Murphy number 1. From the first few seconds of Oppenheimer, I was dead sure on him winning. I know that it's going to be between him and Bradley Cooper for a lot of people, but I can't see this being Bradley Cooper's year. I really can't. I can't see it being the film. I can't see it being the year. I can see Maestro getting quite a few nominations, but I can't even see it being to the level of A Star Is Born in terms of how many nominations it gets. I think Bradley Cooper will be nominated for Best Actor, but I don't think it will be anywhere near competing with Cillian Murphy, to be quite honest. I don't see it. Maybe if I watch it, I'll see it, but I think he's clearly going for the Oscar bait. He's clearly going for the narrative to finally get his win, but it wouldn't be as deserving as Cillian Murphy, and I like to think that the Academy would go with what is the best performance. Number 2, I've got Colman Domingo for Rustin. I think it's a dead set nomination. I think he's getting nominated. I don't think Rustin will get, well, I think it might get an original song nomination. I don't think it will get many more nominations, but it could. I'll wait and see what the reception's like, how Netflix producing it. I'll see how Netflix roll it out, what they do to promote. But I think he's getting nominated. I've got him in number 2. I think he's been in so many films. I think he's been excellent in so many films. And this isn't even his only film where he's got where he's been said he's got award, where people have said he's award contender this year. So he's going to be in The Colour Purple, which is going to compete at the Oscars. There's another one that I think is it's being released in festivals, but it will be valid for next year's Oscars, I think. I have Leonardo DiCaprio at number 3. I think some people are saying that it's the best performance of his career. It could be, but I don't see him winning. He's already won, and it wasn't that long ago. The narrative's not there in the same way that it is Lily Gladstone. I think he'll be great in it. I think I love him in it, but I don't think I want him to win. I think he's going to get nominated for certain. I think that's a lock. But I can see him sitting nicely at 3rd. I've got Bradley Cooper in 4. I think he's going to be nominated. I think everyone's certain on that. I don't see him competing for a win. I see it being... I think I'm going to like the film, but some people hate it. I can see it being an Ana de Armas nomination, like Ana de Armas for Blonde. I can see it being that kind of nomination. It's like they play them so well that we have to give them the nomination, but they're not going to win. I mean, I really hated that nomination last year, and I think I like this film, so maybe it's not the best comparison, but I see it having absolutely no competition for winning, because I don't think that everyone will love the film. I think there'll be too many people that don't like it but just like the performance. I don't know. I can see it being controversial and that completely hurting his chances of it being his win. And then I've got Paul Giamatti in number 5 for The Holdovers. I think he's getting nominated. I think The Holdovers will get a lot of nominations. I've got The Holdovers number 1 spot for supporting actress. Yeah, I think he's getting nominated for sure. Then I've got Barry Keoghan in number 6 for Saltburn. I can very well see him getting nominated for this, but it's just a very stacked category. If I had to replace someone, I would replace Bradley Cooper. I can live without Bradley Cooper being there. Number 7, I've got Teo Yu, which really pains me that he's in number 7, because I wish that it was less stacked of a year and I could firmly predict him in being in the top 5. I'm struggling to see it. I think it's maybe too subtle to get the nomination. I think he'll be a competitor through the year. I think everyone will want him to get a nomination. I can't see it happening. I wish I could. I've got Jeffrey Wright in number 8, which I can very much see rising throughout the rest of the year and into award season, because he's winning prizes at festivals. He's meant to be incredible in it, and he needs a nomination finally. I can see it happening. The only reason I've got him so low at the moment is because I have all of these people. Best Actor's really, really stacked category, and it's going to be difficult, but I could see it happening. I've got Andrew Scott at number 9 for All of Us Strangers. I can't see that one happening. I see Paul Mescal getting in for supporting actor and that being the only acting nomination. Andrew Scott is probably excellent in it, but I don't think it's going to be a big enough of a performance to contend for Best Actor. But again, I could be writing him off for no reason, because 45 years the film, and I got a Best Actress nomination with a subtle performance, a subtle but great performance. So he could get in. I will see what I think of the film. I think I will love the film, but I can't really see that changing my predictions, because I don't see him getting nominated. And I've got Joaquin Phoenix in number 10 for Napoleon. Napoleon's a strange one, because last year I would have sworn it would be contending, but we'll get into it, and it's like, I think this is just going to be a straight to Apple TV one. I don't think, well, it's coming to the cinemas, but I think it's going to go quite unheard, to be honest. I don't know if it's going to be good, but I know Joaquin Phoenix is going to be good. I would have also had Joaquin Phoenix in 11th place for Beau is Afraid, because I think he's incredible in that. He's in my personal top 5 acting performances of the year. But yeah, I don't see Napoleon happening. I mean, it could. We could even have a Vanessa Kirby competing, but I'm not seeing it. I'm not really seeing it. Okay, we are on to my favourite category, the most competitive category, the category that no other will ever defeat as the best. Best Actress. And things had changed. It's crazy. Last night I sat down and I did a Best Actress list, and then I wake up this morning to the news, Lily Gladstone competing for Lead Actress. It's like, this messes up all of my predictions. I had got dead set on my September to prediction top 5, and then it's all changed. I have kept Emma Stone at number 1. I can see Lily Gladstone winning, but I'm just going to wait and see how the campaigning goes. Yeah, Emma Stone's been praised at Venice, everywhere Poor Things is shown. And when initially people were like, yeah, we've got our Best Actress, no competing. It's only today that the Lily Gladstone stuff has happened, so people might decide that Emma Stone's not winning. I'm just trying to base this on my own opinions rather than, okay, Lily Gladstone's moved, so I'm going to immediately put her at number 1. I'm going to wait a little bit. Maybe in a few months my predictions will be different. We'll see. But yeah, Emma Stone, I would love to see win again. And it would be incredible if there was a year when Ryan Gosling and Emma Stone both won an Oscar. I would love to see it. But I would also love to see Lily Gladstone win, because until this morning I was certain we were going to see her win Best Supporting Actress. But anyway, I've got Lily Gladstone in number 2. I think the narrative's just there. And I think she's going to be incredible in it. And when you've got an incredible performance and the narrative that's there, we can very, very easily see a win. And I can very easily see her winning. So yeah, that's why she's so high, even though we've only found out that she's in that category this morning. At number 3, I've got Greta Lee for Past Lives. I think that she's getting in. I think the hype will not die down on this film. Some people seem to think it's going, but I don't see it. it released quite early for American audiences, yes, but it's just released in the UK and worldwide. So people are starting to talk about it again. People are talking about Greta Lee again. I really see her getting nominated. I do. I don't think she's going to compete to win. I don't think there's any chance of that, to be honest. But yeah, I see her getting nominated very easily. She's incredible in it. An incredibly subtle performance. She is the film. And I would love to see her nominated. Number 4, I've got Sandra Hüller for Anatomy of a Fall. I think she will get her nomination. I think it's going to happen. There's so much talk around the film and her performance especially. I can't not see it happening. Yeah, I think she's in there. The 5th slot is where things get difficult. I have Margot Robbie for Barbie here. That is what I want to see. That is what I want to happen. But part of me's like, I don't think it will. Realistically though, Barbie could get like 10 nominations, and Margot Robbie is so much of the film. She's why the film exists. So you would think that, yeah, nomination, Best Actress. But Best Actress is not a category like that. It's just too competitive to be like that. So I would love to be. She's my 5th place because I would love her to be there, and I can see it happening with The Narrative of Barbie. But we've got Carey Mulligan below for Maestro, and again, I think this all depends on what happens with Maestro. If people like it, if people talk about it, because I don't know. I mean, she could even go supporting. Has she been confirmed to go lead actress? I hope she leaves and goes supporting so that I can keep Margot Robbie. Yeah, honestly, anyone in this list, well, my 9 and 10 is where things get okay, maybe not, but yeah, I think she could very easily be swapped with Margot Robbie, maybe even Greta Lee. I hope not. Maybe Sandra Hüller. Yeah, it all depends. She's been nominated recently, so maybe they won't be as keen to give her a nomination, because I don't think she's going to win for it. I don't think it will be that kind of performance, to be honest. I think, I'm trying not to be so critical about Maestro. I've not even seen it, and I think it looks good, but I think that Bradley Cooper will have made the film so that it's pretty much focused on him. So maybe there won't be enough material there for Carey Mulligan to get a Best Actress nomination. I don't know how fleshed out her character will be. Okay, 7th place, I've got Cailee Spaeny for Priscilla. No one would have thought that this would happen a few months ago, but she won Best Actress at Venice. And I think that Priscilla being one of the few films that's where the actors are allowed to promote the film because of agreements with SAG, I think she could easily get a nomination. I think she's going to be excellent in it. I think she won at Venice, so she could do it easily. The only thing that hurts her chances is she's not been in a lot. But we all see that nomination happening. It happens regularly. Like, there's always a newcomer nomination. It could happen. I've got Natalie Portman at number 8 for May December. I couldn't tell you whether this film is going to be award contender or not. It could just end up being a film that I really love but is competing nowhere near the Oscars. It could be a film that I really love and is competing in the Oscars. I might not love it. I think I will, but yeah, I'm not sure on what nominations for this film are going to be like. I'm not sure if there will be. I'm not sure if there's going to be any acting. I don't know. And then I have Teyana Taylor in number 9. In an ideal world, she would be nominated. She would win. She is, well, I have Margot Robbie above her personally, but she is for me the second best performance of the year. She's incredible in 1001. But I'm thinking, is the film just too niche and too unknown to make the nomination? Which is what I decided. But then you've got in the back of your mind what happened last year. Andrea Riseborough. Not even 10,000 people had logged the film on Letterboxd before the awards ceremony, and she got nominated. So I think that if her friends, if fellow actors put the same effort behind campaigning, then she could very easily get the nomination. But I don't think that's going to happen, and I think we all know the reason why. They're not going to put in as much effort for her. But Hollywood. 10, I've got Annette Bening, just because I don't see it happening. I don't think there's a narrative. I think the narrative has been manufactured by like a couple of people on film Twitter. I don't think there's any journey for a nomination or any journey for a win. I don't think people will love the film at all. I think that it will be a like or mildly dislike film. I think she will probably be good in it, but from the little clip they showed, the writing for the film is not great. It's clunky, and I don't think it's Best Actress material, to be quite honest. I don't think she's getting in at all. She could. It's Annette Bening. But I don't think it's happening. So yeah, I think this has been the longest section so far because I could talk about Best Actress forever. But yeah, Best Actress, I see Emma Stone or Lily Gladstone winning. That's all. I am going to go straight ahead and do Best Picture now. Okay, so at number 1 I have Oppenheimer. I had Poor Things at number 1, but I was like, I can't feel it happening. I can't see it. I can't see Poor Things winning Best Picture. I can't. I can see Emma Stone winning Best Actress. I can't see it winning Best Actress and Best Picture. I can't. So I've got Oppenheimer there just because I think Oppenheimer's going to win Best Director. I think Oppenheimer is a fantastic film. Perfect film, maybe. I think that the Barbenheimer hype is going to carry it far. I think that it smashed everyone's expectations. It's on like 912 million at the box office at the moment for biopic. It's the highest grossing biopic of all time. Yeah, I can just see it winning very, very easily. Much easier than I can see Poor Things winning. I can see Poor Things winning quite a few Oscars. I can't see it winning Best Picture. I think I've kind of done my top 2 there because, yeah, Poor Things is in 2. So I just leave it at that for Poor Things. Number 3, I have Killers of the Flower Moon. I can see it competing for Best Picture. I can see it coming close. I can't see it winning Best Picture. I don't think it's happening. No, I can't see it, but I can see it being a fantastic film, and I can see it getting lots of nominations, a few wins. Yeah, it's up there, but not winning. Number 4, I've got Barbie, just because, to be fair, my top 5 or 6 are all a lock on a nomination. I'm all absolutely certain all of them are getting a Best Picture nomination. So I've got Barbie at number 4 just because I can't really see it winning, but it's definitely getting a nomination. And there is a universe where, like, if I close my eyes and think really hard, I can maybe see it winning. I can see it happening. Everyone loved Barbie. Celebrities love Barbie. I don't know, I can see it being somewhat similar to Everything Everywhere All at Once. I'm not saying they're similar films, I'm not saying, but in terms of how silly it is and how much it's done really well and people like it, it could win, it could. I'm not going to rule Barbie out, so that's why I'm having it in my top half finishing. I've got The Holdovers at 5. I can see it being a good film. I can see it getting lots of nominations, Best Actor, winning Best Supporting Actress, and therefore I'm having it in 5th place because it's a lock for getting nominated, but I don't think it's going to come near winning. I think it's going to, if I compare it to a film last year, I'm leaning towards The Fabelmans. Obviously The Fabelmans won nothing, and I can see The Holdovers actually winning something, but in terms of just purely the nominations, they align most for me, I think. I have Past Lives in number 6. I think that's maybe the last one on my list that's a lock. I don't think it's going to come close to winning, but I think it's got to be there because I think it's, for me, the second best film of the year. I think it's an incredible film, a perfect film. I think it's got 4.3 on Letterboxd, and I'm not trying to say that that's what the Oscars are based off. I know it's not, but if something's performing so consistently well with so many people, I think over 200,000 people have logged it now, then the general consensus is that it's a great film and it's one of the best of the year. Therefore, if it's one of the best of the year, then it should be in Best Picture. That should be quite certain, right? I mean, I know that's not how it works, but I can see it working that way for Past Lives. And then I've gone for Anatomy of a Fall, just because I think it's going to get a Best Actress nomination. I think it's going to be in Screenplay. I think, have France chosen it as their film? Is it even French? I think it has a good chance of winning international if it's selected by its country, which I think is France. Yeah, Sandra Huller's French, right? Yeah. Yeah, I can just see it being in the Best Picture conversation. I can't see it being anywhere near winning, but I can see it in there. But the reason I'm not locked on it is because I can also see a world where it doesn't perform the way people think. Sandra Huller doesn't get in, and it therefore doesn't get into Best Picture, and it maybe is only competing for international feature. I can very clearly see a world where that happens. Therefore, it's at number 7 for me because I'm not so sure, but I think it will, but I'm not so sure. I've got Maestro at number 8. Again, this could go either way. It could end up being a lock. I want to wait to see people's reaction when the film is like widely released. Yeah, it could be a lock. It could end up being everyone likes it, the consensus is great. It could be that the only Oscar nomination that comes out of this film is Bradley Cooper. I'm pretty sure he'll get a nomination no matter what. I think it's one of those performances. It's transformative. It's all of that. But there's definitely a world where I can see it not getting into picture, not getting into actress, especially. Yeah, could just scrape through with a couple. I can kind of see it getting similar nominations to The Whale, because everyone was kind of convinced The Whale was going to get into adapted screenplay. Didn't. It didn't get into picture like some people thought. I love The Whale. I'm not sure I love the Maestro, but I can see it definitely being a Best Actor, makeup, and then The Whale got Best Supporting Actress. I don't think it will get that unless Carey Mulligan moved to Supporting Actress, but yeah, I think that it's not going to get that many nominations. I don't think people will love it. I have The Colour Purple at number 9. A few months ago I would have had it way higher, but again, the trailer has convinced me it's not the film that people thought it would be. That it's very much... I'm not trying to reduce the importance of its content at all, but I think it could genuinely just be a staged musical adaptation, which is fine, but it could be not a Best Picture contender in the slightest. It could be that the performances aren't fantastic. It could be... I mean, it could end up being all of those things. It could end up being in contention easily, but the trailer was just, I don't know, I watched it and I was like, yes, this is a film that I will watch with my family at the cinema at Christmas time. Will I then come out of that saying it should win all these Oscars, it should be nominated for Best Picture? I'm not sure. I'll have to wait and see, I guess, but I can see it getting a lot of technical nominations, costume and things like that, but maybe not Best Picture. That is why it's sitting at number 9 for me right now, because I think it will get in, but there's a world where it won't. I have Saltburn at number 10, and I'm not sure at all because I want it to be in there, but again, it could just be too controversial to actually get in there. I don't know, I'm really unsure on it. As I said, I think I'm going to love it. I don't think everyone else will. I think, but then again, Emerald Fennell won an Oscar for her last film, which was also controversial, which also not everyone loved. So I have no idea. It could be that the Academy really love her and this film will get lots of nominations and therefore it will get into Best Picture, but I have no idea. I have no idea how this film is gonna I have no idea what's going to happen to this film during awards season. Like, genuinely, no idea. I've gone for May December at number 11 because there's a world where it can get in, but there's also a world where it's not an Oscar competing film at all. Most people I follow that have watched it have said it is, but it might not be. They might not go that way. And I think that if it's not getting those acting nominations, which I don't come, I have Julianne Moore in my supporting actress at number 5, but I don't have any of the others in top 5. And I think it will be lucky to get that Julianne Moore nomination. But even if it does, I think that Julianne Moore nomination could be the film's only nomination. Yeah. I'm not sure at all on it, so I'm not putting it in my top 10 at the moment, but it could move. I have All of Us Strangers at number 12 just because I think it's going to compete for those acting nominations, perhaps screenplay, and I think that Andrew Hager's made enough films that have been very critically acclaimed, and this one seems to be a lot of people's favourite of his. I just think that there's a world where it could definitely get in, definitely have that narrative around it. Yeah, I'm not sure, yeah. Number 13, I've got The Zone of Interest, which I would have previously had in my top 10, but I have not heard anyone talk about it in a while. When it first was previewed, everyone was like, yeah, this is incredible. It won, I'm not even going to say because I can't remember, it won something at Cannes, but I've not heard anyone mention it since. I don't know what categories it would possibly compete in, because people don't think it can compete in acting because the roles are quite minimal. They don't say much, and I'm not sure it's been chosen for international feature. Whichever country, I know Germany haven't picked it, but I think it's valid for a couple more countries as well. I think even the UK could submit it because it's Jonathan Glazer. But yeah, I'm just not certain on it at all at the moment. I think it's going to be a great film, but I'm not certain it's going to be anywhere near the conversation, to be honest. Maybe other than international feature. I have Air at number 14, which it's just kind of been in the conversation all year. It's just quietly kind of there. Like, Matt Damon could get a Best Actor nomination. Oh my god, I didn't put Viola Davis in my top 10 for supporting actress. There was a time when she was in my top 5, I thought it was going to happen, but as the category becomes more and more competitive, I don't see it anymore. She could. I see it more than maybe even Rhea Perlman, but again, neither of those are likely, so I'm not too mad that I missed her off. But yeah, Air could be If it was going to be anywhere, I'd say screenplay. But I don't think it's getting a Best Picture nomination just on its own. But it could. It could get all of those nominations that I didn't think it would. People could really love it. I do not know. And then I've done one more. I've got number 15, Across the Spider-Verse, which when it first came out in June, the hype was crazy. It was in pretty much in everyone's top 10 for Best Picture, but I don't see it anymore. I really do not. I think it's obviously going to probably win animated feature, but even The Boy and the Heron could beat it. Like, it's not certain. I could have seen it being in way more categories a few months ago, but it's not there for me anymore. I don't know whether it's... I don't know. All of the stuff about how they keep editing it now that it's on digital, and that's bothering me. Like, I can't even watch the version I watched on opening night anymore. That's not how film should be. I don't think it's therefore got the narrative to go in Best Picture anymore. It had controversy around the stress that the workers were under. It's just, the narrative's completely gone for me. I think it's one of the best films of the year, yes. I don't think it's going into Best Picture anymore at all. Can't see it. Just can't. Okay, next up I am going to director. I have done a top 10 here because I'm kind of sure I'm a top 5, but then I remember there's so many other people and I'm like, no, I need to do a top 10. So at the moment I have Christopher Nolan at number 1. I think it's his year. I really think it is. I think he's winning. I do. He's made so many films, and the general consensus around Oppenheimer is it's his best directed work. So I think that surely it's time he gets his Oscar. Yeah, everyone's praising him. I've just read today that Denis Villeneuve is talking about how fantastic he is as a director. I just really think it's his year, to be honest. I really do. I have Yorgos Lanthimos in number 2. And I really can't see him winning, but I can see him being the one, like, I can see him being the only competitor to Christopher Nolan. And the fact that he's the only competitor, but I don't see him winning in the slightest, has me even more confident that we are getting a Christopher Nolan Best Director win next year. It's happening. I am so certain of it. But this category is genuinely really exciting to me because I think we could have at least 2 women in the race this year. I have Greta Gerwig at number 3. I wasn't even confident about having her in here, but I think that Barbie continues to absolutely smash the box office. It's the most successful film directed by a woman. I think that narrative is going to take Greta Gerwig far. She's been nominated before. The Academy in general love her films. She was robbed of an Oscar for screenplay for Little Women. I think that she gets a nomination again here. I really do. Don't think that she wins it. I think she's more likely to win original screenplay. But I really think, I've thought about it lots and I don't see a lineup that doesn't have her in it. I really don't. I have Martin Scorsese at number 4 just because there's a new Martin Scorsese film. Of course he's going to get nominated. But again, he's not going to win. After I see the film, I might even think he deserves to win, but I don't see it. I think it's Christopher Nolan's year, and I think that those other 2 are more likely to win than him. I'm not saying that we're pushing away him. We're like, oh, you're too old, we need to let the younger ones in, but I do think that maybe we've reached a point that these younger talents are more likely to win than him. I think he will still be there, he will still be celebrated, but I don't think he's going to win at all. Number 5, I have Celine Song for Past Lives, just because I think that's my second favourite film of the year. I think everyone generally thinks it's a perfect film, it's extremely well directed, and I can see her getting nominated. But then again, my number 6, I can also be seeing her place. It's Justine Triet for Anatomy of a Fall. Depending on how well that does, I can see her there. And then I've got Bradley Cooper in number 7, which I don't see it happening. I see all of his energy going on to actor rather than director. I don't see him being in there, to be quite honest. I have Sofia Coppola at number 8 for Priscilla, because I don't want to write her out, because the general consensus is that Priscilla's her best film in a long time. Therefore, I don't want to write her off, because she could get nominated. She's one of my favourite directors. I would love to see her nominated. I've got Emerald Fennell at number 9 for Saltburn. She's only that low because I don't think that Saltburn's going to be that film that gets the director nomination. I think that she will get nominated in the future. I think that she'll continue to be this presence as a director. I don't see it happening next year, but it could, and I want it to. And then I just have Alexander Payne in number 10, just because he's directing The Holdovers, and that's sure to get a Best Picture nomination. That's pretty much my only reason. I've no idea if there'll be any directing style that particularly stands out, anything he's done that's like particularly brilliant in terms of directing, but yeah, I have him there because I don't want to write him off, because he's directing The Holdovers, and that's in people's top 5 for picture, so I think he's got to still be around the conversation, even if he's not going to win. Okay, so I am moving on to the screenplay category now. I'm going to do original first. This had actually been my hardest 2 categories to predict, because I had to like randomly think, is this original, is it adapted, and then I'd look it up and I'd not even get definitive answers, because I don't know, not everyone's completely submitted yet or made it official where they're submitted. The big news screenplay wise is that Barbie's going original screenplay, but other than that, I'm like, is The Holdovers based on a book? Is it original? And what I've found is, I think it's original. Please correct me if I'm wrong. Yeah, original screenplay. Let's go. I have Barbie at number 1. I think that it was an incredibly smart move on their behalf to go for original screenplay. Whether people agree with them doing that or not, I'm perfectly fine with it, because for me, the character, the story has nothing to do with any of the other Barbie stories. So I'm perfectly fine with it being there, and I think that it had absolutely no chance to win adapted screenplay, because you've got Poor Things, Oppenheimer, Killers of the Flower Moon. I think that its only competitor here is Past Lives. And I can really see it being a battle of those two. And I can tell you, it will get ugly. If Barbie wins over Past Lives, lots of people on Twitter will be angry. And also the other way around. Yeah. For me, the thing that puts it on top is, I think that the Academy will be ready to see Greta Gerwig with an Oscar. And Greta Gerwig and Noah Baumbach being on the stage and receiving an Oscar for writing. Who doesn't want to see that? I just think that will happen. I think that we're going to see that. I think that that's what the Academy want. I think they love both of them. I think that they will be happy to be able to finally reward this collaborative project of theirs. I think they're 2 of the greatest writers of this generation, and the fact that they've made this together, this just completely unique, crazy screenplay that only they could make work, I think the power behind that is going to generate a win. I really do. I have Past Lives at number 2 then, because I think that it's possibly the best screenplay of the year. I think it's beautifully written. I think the language behind it is just amazing, and it's obviously going to get nominated, because none of these others even like come close. But yeah, I can't see it beating Barbie, because this is Celine Song's debut film, and I think that although it may be deserved, they'll be hesitant to award them for that. They will get nominated, but I don't know. I might be making things up, but I don't feel that they'd want to give someone an Oscar for writing so early. But they could. I have no idea. I have The Holdovers at number 3. I don't even know if it's original. From what I could find, it's original. Yeah, it's just there because it's going to be a Best Picture competitor. So yeah, the screenplay's got to be decent. And most of the other films in Best Picture that I've got are adapted screenplays, so I don't know, you'd think that it goes, you can just, for screenplay, you maybe should just be able to split out the Best Picture options to whichever one they go in. Yeah, that's why I put it there. It's just a competitor for me. I have Anatomy of a Fall at number 4. Again, from what I could find, it's an original screenplay. Please correct me if I'm wrong. Yeah, again, I see this here because I think it could get into Best Picture, and I also think that it will be one of the few original screenplays of the year, if it is. I've got Saltburn at number 5. I have this here because despite the film probably being either you love it or you hate it, I think the writing is going to be spectacular, and this is the category that Emerald Fennell won for Promising Young Woman. So I can't see the winner, I can't see her having won it for her last film not be nominated here. I just think that it's going to happen. I think that no matter how many people in the Academy aren't a fan of the film, I think they will like her writing, because they clearly like her writing because she won for it. And then obviously that's my top 5, but I've done May December underneath because, again, is it original? I think so. But yeah, again, just because I have no idea how that's going to perform, I have no idea if it's going to be a competitor, but if it is, yeah, could be. And then adapted screenplay. I have gone Poor Things number 1 win, because I can see it being the biggest winner at the Oscars easily. I can see it taking Best Actress, I can see it getting maybe even 2 supporting actor nominations. Director, don't think it's going to win, but I think he will be second choice. Lots of technical nominations. Therefore, yeah, I think it's going to win adapted screenplay. And the whole storyline, I think there's quite a good narrative behind. So the actual writer of the book, sorry, I'm pointing there because I've got the book over there. The writer of the book dying before he could see the film, but giving over his permission, saying he really liked the screenplay. I think that narrative always plays a part in whether something's going to win or not. And then I've got Oppenheimer at number 2, just because, yeah, I can see it winning easily. But yeah, it's just, there's nothing more to say, is that Oppenheimer's a perfect adaptation. So yes, it could win. And then I've got Killers of the Flower Moon at number 3, purely because it's going to be one of the biggest films of the year and it's based on a book. Therefore, yeah, adapted screenplay, easy. I've got The Colour Purple at number 4, but I kind of have no idea if that will happen, because I'm not sure if it's going to be an Oscar film. But if it is, I think it will definitely get nominated. But that could change when I've finally seen it. And number 5, I have All of Us Strangers, because I did find out that is adapted. And it's adapted from a Japanese novel, I think. I think this could go a similar route to Living last year, being nominated for being adapted from a Japanese film. Yeah, I can just see, I think British films are getting back into the Oscars conversation quite easily. Oh my god, I called this British. It's British director. Sorry, Paul Mescal and Andrew Scott, I know you are Irish. But yeah, British films are getting back into the conversation. I think it could easily. I think Andrew Haig's writing is great. Yeah, I can see it being in there. even if it doesn't get many more nominations. I could very easily see like a Paul Mescal and adapted screenplay pair, and that being the only nominations. Yeah. Oh, and then I put Maestro under that because Maestro count as, I don't know if it's adapted or original. Like, is it based on a book about his life, or is it just based on his life? And because biopics, even though they're based on someone's life, that's not adapted, that's original, and they get very complicated. So I put it there, but if it's not, I don't know. I don't see it getting into either way, so I'm just going to leave it there for now. Next up, I've gone for costume. I've been set on Barbie winning costume for months. I think that the costumes are great. I think that there's a huge variety because it's Barbies. They wear a different costume like every 5 minutes in the film. I think that they use genuine like famous fashion. They use Chanel archives and things like that. I think that the behind the scenes videos will help it massively, because videos of them designing the fashion, the Barbies wearing the fashion, have been readily available this whole time. You can actually see the process of the designing. And the film's just very much a celebration of costume design. Like, there's the scene with Anne Roth, even though she didn't costume design the film, she's in it, she's celebrated. Yeah, I see it winning, easy. It's been my winner all along. I have Poor Things at number 2, because the costume design looks impressive. It's going to get a nomination, and if Barbie didn't exist, I think it would win. I have Killers of the Flower Moon at number 3, which I think the reason that I think it would get in is because I believe that they've done collaboration with the Indigenous people on what they would have worn. So it's not just going to be, is it in the 20s? That era of films like the suits and things, it's going to have the Indigenous fashion as well. And I think that combination is what's going to easily get it its nomination. I think it's going to be up there, yeah, on number 3. I have The Colour Purple at 4. It's the musical, it's set in the past, the period costume. It's going to look nice. I think it'll be in there. Even if it's not that Oscar-y film, I think it will be in there, because you don't have to be an Oscar-y film to even win costume. Like, Cruella won it. It would never have got in for any other Oscars. Mrs. Harris Goes to Paris got nominated for it. Like, that's actually one of my favourite nominations ever. It's just so much fun. Yeah, I think that The Colour Purple is getting it in there. And then I have Maestro at number 5, purely because it's a transformative project for Bradley Cooper. There's going to be costumes involved, and that dress that Carey Mulligan wears on the cover looks stunning. I think that it moves across different periods of time, so it showcases a knowledge of different periods. I think it's going to get nominated for that, no matter how un-Oscar-y I think it is in other aspects. Makeup and hairstyling, I have gone for a Barbie win, because the thing that made me dead certain is I watched a video on Barbie's wigs, and the fact that they did pink undertones to her hair depending on what outfit she was wearing. And then I came around to watching the film another time and I was like, oh my god, I can see pink in her hair, like, this is perfect. So when she's wearing the Western outfit, there's very subtle pinks. And then when she's wearing, I think she's wearing the end outfit, well, not the end outfit, but when she's having the breakdown, it's kind of pink and blue. And she's lying in Weird Barbie's house, and the hair is ever so subtly pink. And the design in that, I just think that's impeccable wig design. I think that's makeup and hairstyling easily for me. I mean, the makeup's nothing crazy other than like Weird Barbie, but it's classic. It's Barbie. It's replicating a doll, therefore the makeup has got to be very important. It just makes me think they all win. I just think that all of the wigs that went into that to make it look like a doll, to replicate dolls, I can't not see it winning. I don't think that any of the other films had that on the same scale. I've got Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 at number 2. The other two films have been nominated in that category. I've not seen it, but the makeup's obviously always impressive because they're recreating aliens. I don't think it will win because Barbie's there. But yeah, its makeup and hair is good. It should get nominated. And then I've got Poor Things at number 3 because this period costume and Emma Stone's hair is very long, so wigs again, and the hair on like Mark Ruffalo and Willem Dafoe, wigs, the makeup on Willem Dafoe, yeah, I just think that's an easy nomination. Could in some world be a win, could. I've got Maestro at number 4, which is going to be controversial because of Bradley Cooper's unnecessary prosthetic nose, but I think that it's a nomination because if you think about it, the people who do makeup are the ones choosing the nominations, and I don't think they are going to see the controversy. I think they're just going to see the fact that work has gone into transforming his face, and I think that that's going to get a nomination. I really do. No matter how the film performs, whether he's getting acting nominations, I think it's getting in there. The only thing I can really compare it to is The Whale. Even though for me the makeup was in no way controversial and deserved to win, yeah, I can see it being that actor makeup pairing, the classic actor makeup pairing that you see with Darkest Hour, all of the transformative films. Yeah, it's that again, which you can see winning, but I think the controversy will stop it winning that category, but I don't think it will stop it being there. And then I have Oppenheimer with maybe in a question mark at number 5, just because I can't think of any more films that will be there, and there's hair work in Oppenheimer, there's makeup, there's definitely makeup. I mean, think about like Benny Safdie's face in it, that's a lot of impressive makeup. He's sweaty and gross all the time. And there's Robert Downey Jr. A lot of people said they didn't even recognise him in the film. I mean, I did, because it's obviously him. I don't see why they didn't recognise him, but it's transformative, therefore I see it getting nominated, and that's the only other film I could think of that possibly could. Next up, I decided to have a go at animated feature. I think that it's being won by Across the Spider-Verse. I think everyone can agree on that. Unless the animators like drastically, I don't know, there's a huge protest against their way of working and that how the animators were rushed and things. Unless they don't want to award it because of that. But I can't see that happening because the animation has still been created by those workers, and it's still perfect animation, stunning animation. So I think it's winning. The last one won, so, and this one's better, so surely that would mean that it wins again. I have The Boy and the Heron at number 2 because it's a Ghibli film. Yeah, it's been hugely hyped up, everyone wants to see it. They pretty consistently get nominated, even the lesser known ones. So yeah, I'm confident that it's going to be there, and if something were to happen to Spider-Verse, that would be my winner. I have Nimona at number 3, which might not happen, but I still think it's perhaps the best animated film of the year. I think I rated that and Spider-Verse the same, but I lean towards Nimona because it's very bold with its themes, and I think it does an incredible job with what it has, and I think the animation's exceptional, the voice work is perfect. I would love to see a world where it would win, but I think it's going to be the Mitchells vs the Machines nomination. Like Flea, that got nominated. I think it's that again, to be honest. Yeah, I think you could even go down the route of arguing that this is a Pinocchio kind of nomination. Pinocchio was a Netflix film, beautifully animated. Yeah, if Netflix campaign it like they did for Pinocchio, I mean, I know that was owed largely to Guillermo del Toro, but I think that if they promote carefully, then they can get a nomination easily. I've gone for Elemental at number 4, just because it's a great animated film, and it's Pixar. Therefore, surely that combination gives you a nomination. Up until recently, that combination would have been sure to get you a win, but I don't think it's going to win. But I think it's going to get nominated. And then, at number 5, I have 2 competing because I can't decide. I want to say Mutant Mayhem, that would be my choice, but every time I go to the cinema to see a kids film and the Wish trailer comes on, it looks good. Like, the animation looks really, really nice. And that comes out in November. Previously, I thought that it was coming out next year. It wouldn't be in the conversation because no one had been talking about it. But, like, I think it could be a surprise. I think it could get in genuinely. But also, that might not harm Mutant Mayhem. That could be in place of Elemental because it's Disney. They might want to only put one forward. They might want to just go ahead at Wish. If Wish gets the better reception, which I can't see because Elemental has done it incredibly well, then they might want to put all their energy into that. Because I think that Wish has original song potential, whereas Elemental doesn't have songs. So I think that they will perhaps, if they're weighing up their opportunities, they will go for Wish. I can see it happening. But if not, Mutant Mayhem's in there. But also, that might not even affect Mutant Mayhem. It might affect Elemental. Original song is, for me, a Barbie-dominated category. I have my winner as I'm Just Ken because I think that it's a fun song. The category loves fun songs at the minute. Like, Natu Natu won last year. I was convinced Lady Gaga was winning again because it's a love ballad, powerful song. But Natu Natu won. Anything can happen. They love fun songs. And I'm Just Ken has ultimately been the most popular song out of Barbie. It might not have performed best on the radio, but it's the one everyone's making videos with. It's the one that everyone remembers. And I think that Ryan Gosling is going to win the Oscar. Therefore, I think that that is going to come hand in hand with an original song win performed by his character. Yeah, I think it's happening. I have Barbie What Was I Made For at number 2 because I think that if I'm Just Ken didn't exist, Billie Eilish would have another Oscar win on her hands easily. I can still see it happening. Depends which direction the Oscars want to go, but I think both will be nominated. Barbie could even get 3 original song nominations. I'm not writing it off at all because it's the film of the summer. It's got a whole soundtrack full of artists. It's the one that's put most effort into its soundtrack, therefore it can easily do that. At number 3 I have This Wish from Wish because it gets stuck in my head every time I see the trailer. The song's really good, and I think that Disney can campaign this properly. I think that Encanto would have won original song if they'd chosen the right song to campaign. Therefore, if they choose this one, which people have already heard in the trailer, which sounds great, which is performed by an actress who recently won Best Supporting Actress, then yeah, they're in for a nomination. And then I've reserved spot number 4 for anything by Diane Warren. I think she's doing a song for a documentary, therefore she'll get a nomination. That's just the rules. For number 5, I put Rustin ? Because I heard that Lenny Kravitz is doing a song for Rustin, and if he does and it's somewhat decent, then he can get a nomination. You know, he will perform it at the thing. I can already see him. He'd have a little piano in the corner and whatever. Yeah, that'd be a nomination, easy. That's just your classic biopic nomination. 6, obviously there's only 5, but my runners-up will be Quiet Eyes from Past Lives because I can't see it happening, but then again, I didn't think that Everything Everywhere All at Once would happen last year. So they could love this film so much that they go with that original song, score, everything. Number 7, I hope this doesn't happen, Peaches. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Number 8, I've got Barbie Dance the Night, because they could go ahead and just campaign every single song from that soundtrack. For me, those 3 are the most likely to get a nomination. Number 9, I've got the Alien song from Asteroid City, which I would adore. Yeah, I need that. I need that nomination in my life. And number 10, I've got the Joan Still song from Theatre Camp, because wouldn't that just be the greatest nomination? I would love that. Okay, next up, production design. I have gone Barbie win here. Maybe I'm predicting too many Barbie wins, but yeah, I've gone Barbie win because have you seen the life-size dollhouses? The set. The thing that makes me convinced it's going to win is the narrative behind it. We've seen countless behind-the-scenes videos of Margot Robbie taking us a walk around the dream house, a walk around Barbie Land. It's there, it existed. That's what production design is all about. And for me, the best part of the production design is the weird Barbie house. I think it's just incredible. I think it's going to win. There's so many behind the scenes videos and Barbie for me are what make me so sure that it's going to win Oscars, because those people who've made it are being celebrated directly in these videos dedicated to the crafts that go into it. I've got Oppenheimer at number 2, just for the whole, they built a town, just for all of that. They built the thing. This is how, this shows how much of it I actually like deeply understand. The thing that they dropped the bomb from, yeah, that's real. The lack of CGI will give it a production design nomination, because they built so much for it. I've got Killers of the Flower Moon at number 3, because again, there's a town, it's period set, you're making it look a certain way. Like, yeah, I think that's getting a nomination. Number 4, I've got Poor Things, because it's very quirky. Yorgos Lanthimos has a very specific style, which the production design will be catered to. Therefore, if it's done well, which I think it is, because everyone who's seen it loves the film, then that can easily get a nomination. This probably won't happen, but I've got Asteroid City as my 5th slot, because I think that that's some of the best production design of the year. In an ideal world, it would be an easy nomination, but my next up that could easily take that place is just The Colour Purple, because it's period set. Yeah, but for me, Asteroid City will deserve it more, because there's so much production design in there. It's almost a film about production design. Original score, I've gone for an Oppenheimer win, because the Oppenheimer score is all film Twitter wants to talk about. And rightly so. It's great. It's really great. Yeah, I can see it winning easily. And then I've got Killers of the Flower Moon, because the composer, Robbie Robertson, has passed away. That's a narrative. Sorry, that sounds really bad. I think it would have been nominated anyway. But honestly, whenever I see that trailer, the minute the score starts, goosebumps. It's incredible. It's like the best thing I've ever heard. And if that score is in the film, then it's easily getting a nomination, because it's great. It's unconventional, but think about what won last year. That's unconventional. And then I've got Past Lives, because I think it's a very subtle, nice score. And to be honest, I can't think about what else would replace it. I can just see that happening. I mean, this category is very much only one I can judge if I've seen the film, because I'm not one to just sit and listen to soundtracks for films I've not seen. So yeah, this will probably change as I watch more. I've got Spider-Verse at number 4, because I think the score's really great. I think there was a time when everyone thought it would win original score. You know, that awkward time post Spider-Verse, pre-Barbie and Oppenheimer. Yeah, that was a good time. Everyone was so sure that Spider-Verse would win everything. And then I've got 5th spot, I have no idea. I've put Barbie in there because it could. It's a fun score. The bits that make me think it could is like, you know, where she sees Ruth in the room, and the way that What Was I Made For is woven in throughout, and the really, really lovely one when she's having tea with Ruth, it's like, it makes it sound old, it's just really soothing, and I think that they do the score very well. And they use the original songs in the score, it's just variants of it, and I think that's very clever. I think Mark Ronson could easily get a nomination. It would be an unconventional one again, but yeah. We're getting near the end. Cinematography. I have gone for Killers of the Flower Moon win, because from what we've seen in the trailer, these are some of the best shots I've ever seen in my life. Like that one where it's circles of the indigenous people from above and they dance. Oh my god, it's so good. I think it's winning easy. I've gone for Oppenheimer number 2 because that has stunning cinematography. I think it has a chance at winning. It's winning so many other things for sure, so yeah, go ahead. I've gone for Barbie because it's a really acclaimed cinematographer. He's done so many of my favourite films, and I think the cinematography is great in Barbie. It's going really, really underrated this year. No one's kind of predicting it there, but I think it's going to happen. I've gone Past Lives because that's some of my favourite cinematography of the year, without a doubt. It's just, every frame is gorgeous. That was number 4. My last spot I've given to Poor Things because I think it's getting so many other nominations and wins, and I think the cinematography looks really unique and impressive. Number 6, so not in but is a competitor, it's El Conde. It would obviously be the film's only nomination, although I would like to vouch for that film in Best Supporting Actress. It won't happen, but I adore her performance. Yeah, it could be that Bardo had its only nomination in cinematography last year. Netflix film. It can happen. It could happen again. I'm not sure who did the cinematography, if they're acclaimed or not, but yeah, it could easily happen. International feature was my hardest one to do because they had to do all this research about who submitted what, if a film's been submitted, and half of the countries haven't even submitted yet. So this is my rough list. I've got Japan winning for Perfect Days at the moment. New Wim Wenders film. It sounds fantastic. It should win for me. And then at number 2 I've got Anatomy of a Fall, but I don't even know if that's been submitted or what country will be submitting it. It's one of the most acclaimed films of the year, so you would think it's going to be an international feature, but who knows. Number 3 I've got Godland, which is Iceland's submission. I watched it recently, and for me it would have similar energy to the EO nomination last year. It would be like that. I got the Zone of Interest if any country submitted it, because I know Germany haven't, but then the UK can submit it. I don't know who else can. I know there's a few countries. Yeah, I have 4 Daughters, but then I found out that is that not a documentary as well, so that might have more chance than documentary, and then I just don't know. And then I've got About Dry Grasses in my number 6 spot because it seems acclaimed. It seems to have energy behind it. And then documentary I was struggling with because I've watched a few, but most of the ones I've watched are like, yeah, they're not going to be in it. So at the minute I've got number 1, The Deepest Breath, which I have watched, and it's just a really well stylized documentary. It feels like a Best Documentary Oscar winner, to be quite honest. Beyond Utopia I don't know much about, but it's acclaimed, it's got a lot of hype behind it. And then at number 3 I put On Shore and Others. And my 5th place spot will go to Still, a Michael J. Fox story, because everyone likes him. They'll want to nominate a documentary about him. I think that will happen, to be honest. So I don't have a 3 and 4. We'll see what happens the rest of the year. And then my last category I've predicted is editing, which I kind of struggle with because sometimes I watch something and I'll think, wow, that's really good editing, and then everyone else will be saying it's terrible editing. Like, until it was explained to me, I didn't think that Bohemian Rhapsody was a bad winner. But then it was explained and I was like, I saw it. But yeah, so don't take this category as gospel because I have no idea. I've got Oppenheimer winning because that could easily happen. The tension is built up through editing and it's really, really effective. So yeah, that can happen. Killers of the Flower Moon because that's got an incredibly acclaimed editor, has worked with Martin Scorsese on almost every film. She can win again easily. Have the holdovers because there's usually a pattern with editing that's just it's a film in Best Picture that's getting quite a few other nominations that's just decently well edited, and I think that will be it. I've actually put Air in number 4 because I think that the editing's a standout and it could happen if Air maybe gets screenplay, or I don't know, it could even just get editing. I can see a world where Air makes a comeback and gets a nomination, and I think that could be in editing. And then I have Barbie at number 5 just because, yeah, the editing's good. It has editing, and it's not bad. So, and then I put Maestro, Saltburn, Poor Things, just because those are other competing films that could happen. Yeah, that's all. Thank you so much for watching my September Oscar predictions. Keep an eye out for my London Film Festival vlog, which I will be attending next month at the Broadway Cinema and watching 8 films. So keep an eye out for reviews and my festival vlog. And make sure to watch my short films on here, please.